All proceeds from this series will go to Samaritans. Donation link in the description. Hey there, my name's Rewan and welcome back to the Fazlore Podcast. Today I'm here with Caitlin from Mommacado.
Hey, what's up?
And today we'll be covering Security Breach. What was Security Breach? So how would you describe Security Breach? Like, if someone came up to you and said, what is this game? How would you describe it?
Other than a mess?
That'd be a good start.
I mean, it's definitely the first, really, large-scale game out of the entire franchise, I'd say. Like, it's by far, the largest FNAF game still. Like, the map layout is huge.
Mm.
But in terms of the story in it...
Very optimistic.
Look, Scott admitted himself that it was a mess.
To be fair, it was on him. He literally said, yeah, I didn't communicate with these people, so...
I just didn't tell them anything.
Yeah, it was doomed from the start.
Fine.
Yeah, it's... I feel like it's just free roaming, cool, new shiny stuff. FNAF.
I don't know, but some of it's cool.
I do like the intro and stuff. I really like the intro when you first see
really...
them.
I like the animatronic designs.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Some people don't. Some people really don't like them. And I'm like, why?
I think Freddy's is a little bit basic.
I feel like
But it's not in a bad way.
No.
It's weird that the rest of them wear clothes and he doesn't.
He's naked.
Have you thought about that? Like everyone else is wearing clothes, and then he's just got shoulder pads and nothing else.
That is a really good point. What was Glamrock Bonnie wearing? So I know he was wearing like everyone else is wearing clothes, but I think Glamrock Bonnie was just pants and shoulder pads. Wait,
I'm gonna check.
Glamrock Bonnie.
I'm.
Oh no, he was fully dripped.
He's got full clothes. He's got a jumpsuit.
Yeah, and literally everyone else is completely... Oh.
So Chica and Roxy are wearing a hot pants or whatever you call them.
Monty is funny because he's wearing pants, but then only the shoulder pads. So he's unique.
I mean, it is very much giving 80s. But imagine if a guy showed up anywhere, really, wearing a bow tie, red shoulder pads, red leg warmers, and then studded bracelets, a top hat, and nothing else.
Just walks up to you and says, "Hello, Gregory," and it's just weird. Yeah, it was an interesting choice, but I feel like with Freddy, his personality makes up a lot for his design. His design is very simple, but also his character is quite he doesn't have as much personality as the others, other than that he is quite protective, and that's it. I feel so it kind of reflects it in that. I don't know.
Oh, he's just dad.
He's just dad. Yeah, if you want to talk about his dadness.
Genuinely, probably the best dad we've seen in the series.
Very much so.
Even when he doesn't full on believe that Gregory is correct in his assumptions of there being something to be afraid of or whatever, he's still oh, well, that's not how I see it, but I understand that you're upset. And he still tries to help with the problem, and that is so dad. Other than that, the best options we have are the dad from End of the Pit and oh god, help, Ralph.
Oh yeah, from
And Ralph
the story. The
is
yeah.
the week before, yeah.
Yeah.
But like Ralph is so Faz brainwashed
Faz brain.
that it hurts. Like,
You know, I haven't actually read that one. Does he? What does he do? Does he just like ignore his kid, or like obviously not Afton level, but
he doesn't like ignore her. It's like it's more that he, by ignoring all of the bad things and like the red flags and everything with Fazbear, he puts his child in literal mortal danger. And or ends up just dying and leaving her and presumably like an orphan or something. I don't know. Like there's no mom at home when he goes home.
oh,
Like,
okay, yeah. We've not got the best contenders. Like Henry, we don't know much about him as a dad. Like
he was neglectful
Mm.
at best. He was neglectful.
yeah, not Edwin level, but definitely like not looking after.
Yeah.
I feel like we discussed that.
Not to mention,
Yeah.
sorry,
No, you're good. You're good.
because I will go off about Henry in a heartbeat, because people want to say like, oh well, Sammy's not even real. Sammy is so real. The aunt, literally, you see her going, dude, you have a living child. What are you doing? Building robot versions of the dead one. You have an alive kid. Go pay attention to your alive child. And he's just like, nah, I'm gonna keep making weird robots of my daughter.
He wasn't ready for the boy mum life. He was going for the daughter. Oh yeah, he was.
Like the implication that he would turn into a boy mum.
It's just he's not ready for that life. Yeah. I feel like the options aren't best. I mean, even like Oswald's dad, like I talked about it in Into the Pit episode, but he's like, yeah, loads of kids died here. It's a really horrible place. It's a really rough place. It got turned into a new place. Anyway, have fun for the day. Go there on your own. It's a bit. Yeah, FNAF isn't good for its dads. The dads are bad, and the mums are just nowhere ever. So,
You know, except for Freddy.
yeah, we love Freddy.
The only good dad in the franchise.
I think we must mass produce Freddy and replace all the dads in the franchise. That feels like the best solution going forward.
I don't know. We saw something about replacing dads in Into the Pit, and I don't think that went very well.
Oh, well, that's a good point. Oh no. Yeah. We love Weddy though. We love Weddy. I feel like Freddy is probably one of the best things to come from the game. Freddy, Sun and Moon, and then Gregory's humor was quite funny as well.
I love Sun and Moon.
I do love Sun and Moon. I think Sun and Moon and Eclipse are probably the most popular thing. It's literally like Freddy, and then the second biggest thing on like TikTok and stuff is Sun and Moon. Like they were one of the very few things that was like perfect about Security Breach. I wouldn't have changed anything about the way they worked. So
yeah, I specifically the daycare attendant for me is like so I like to data mine, and I like to post like the voice lines and things like that with just like really clean, here's the line, no other audio going on, just so like people can get a hold of those. And I was doing that with Help Wanted 2 before my channel was monetized, and actually all of the views on my Sun video are what actually made my channel eligible
oh,
for
really?
monetization. Yeah. On Sun's voice lines, that's what got me monetized.
I am not surprised. Sun, I think with Sun and Moon, Sun is the most popular one because he is quite literally a sunshine. He's like very like, oh please just behave, please. And then
Okay, so I hate to break it to you.
Oh no.
People are really horny for Sun. So I don't know if people know this, but when they make a clip of your video, you can go into Studio, you can see all the clips.
Oh
and
no.
the titles of all of the clips that have been made.
What have you seen? What have you seen? Oh gosh. That makes sense.
A lot of people calling him daddy in not the wholesome way.
Oh no, but he's such a nice guy. He's such a nice guy.
Actually, the first one that was like just blatantly thirsty was just called "Marry Me" with like a blushing emoji.
Oh my gosh.
I remember seeing that and just being like, really?
I'm not surprised. Unfortunately, as much as I wish I was in this fandom, the amount of like Monty Gator thirst traps that were all over TikTok.
Oh my god.
And Freddy, surprisingly.
I've not seen that.
Yeah, there was not good.
I will say, specifically that it was Sun. Not that people were horny, but that it was Sun. That's what threw me.
Because all of them.
There's no way that character's not asexual. There's no way.
Yeah, he's just anxious all the time. He's not in the mood for that. Bro's just having a good time. He's just having a good time.
I'm gonna look. All right, chat, viewers. I hate to break it to you. I'm gonna hold your hand while I say this. The daycare attendant doesn't fuck.
Everyone drops out now. Everyone starts leaving hate comments. You guys suck.
Sorry, that's it.
Never
you
watched.
Lost all your viewers.
I just get like all my subscribers lost. I get hate bombed off the internet. I have to go work in a McDonald's. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. Security Breach was a bit of an uprising for all the horny fans. There was like Monty stuff. There was Freddy stuff. Oh god, the Roxy stuff. Like the amount of people that were all commenting on the fact that there was a tissue box next to the photo of Roxy. That was...
Oh my god.
The fandom scared me on Security Breach. I can't lie, they were a bit scary.
I forgot about that. But now that you said it, I very specifically remember what you're talking about. Because I think there was also like a bottle of something near it.
Yep.
And people were like, oh, that's lotion. It's definitely not. I think it's like hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
So it's just like set dressing for a desk, right? For a corporate desk.
Just very unfortunate set dressing. Very unfortunate placement. Oh no. There was so many memes about it as well. There were so many memes. Like, Security Breach, one of the few good things that did come out of it.
So here's the thing. Hold on. No, we're gonna go into that a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. Specifically that. My thought, right, is that like we know Fazbear overworks their employees and keeps them like too long hours and all of that.
Yeah.
What if the tissue box is not there for what everyone wanted to say it was? I
know where you're going.
And it's actually there because that's where Cassie's dad had to sit while he was at work. And Roxy is Cassie's favorite animatronic, and so he had the little like photo there, and he had his tissues because every time he saw it, he'd think of his daughter and cry because he couldn't go home to her.
See, that's really sweet. I thought you were going to say it's where all the Fazbear employees go to cry because they're too sleep deprived. Yours was so sweet and sad, and I was like, oh, that's really sad though, but I could almost see that. I like Cassie's dad. Very limited info we have. Very limited. I love him. He's just a fun guy. Oh, poor Cassie's dad. He deserves a name at this point. He deserves a name.
I mean, hasn't everyone pretty much decided that his name's Jeremy?
They have? I did not know that.
The Remember Jeremy achievement. Because it's not Remember Jeremy, it's Remember, Jeremy.
Oh. See, I always had this theory that he was the sibling of the MCI Jeremy. That was my kind of like... I personally thought that he was the older brother of the missing children's incident Jeremy. So it was kind of like, remember your brother, remember what happened, come back to your senses. But that does make more sense that bro's just Jeremy. Oh, there's two Jeremys.
Let me just double check. I want to make sure that I'm not wrong about that. The comma. I know it's a question. I may be inventing the comma. But it still feels like it's going, like, hey, Jeremy, do you remember?
Yeah.
Not the comment. I may have invented that just because that's how I, like, interpreted it when I first...
Let me help you. Remember...
Yeah, remember... Okay, there's no comma, but there's a question mark. Remember Jeremy? Or is it remember Jeremy?
Yeah, and think
But, like, so the thing is, right, because it says Jeremy there, and the image for it is the doll with the Bonnie mask on, and then you find the chest with the Bonnie mask in it. This seems familiar.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I remember, actually, when I saw that, you'd think my mind would have gone to, like, oh, who is our protagonist? Do you want to know what my mind went to?
What?
It went to the FNAF 4 box.
Oh.
Immediately.
Oh, that's a very good point.
Just immediately FNAF 4 box. And there's a video on my channel about the FNAF 4 box.
Oh, so...
That actually did quite well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it featured Rye Toast. Because at the time, my friend Charlie, she didn't like have a microphone. But she was there for the conversation. So when I was like quoting her, I had Rye just read what she sent, and it was really cursed to see her little like profile character move in time with Rye's voice.
Wait, that worked?
What was the law at the time? Right. So yes. Okay. Yes. Explain. He.
It's Michael Afton.
Okay.
Michael Afton is alive, and he's under the Pizzaplex.
He's
with
just
Gregory.
Chilling. He's just chilling down there?
Yeah.
Interesting. So,
Okay,
like,
so-
he survived? To be fair, he survived being... his insides being spaghettied, so...
I was gonna say, he has survived worse. So, alright. So I love this theory. I want it to be true really badly. I'm not the only person who's talked about it. I think the first person I ever saw, like, besides myself, go like, I feel like Mike's alive, I feel like he's under the Pizzaplex, was Immense Andrew.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of him.
And I think it was in his... It may have been in the video in the survival logbook he brought it up, or maybe he just has a whole video about Michael Afton still being alive. I can't quite remember, but I know I did like his survival logbook video quite a bit. Survival logbook, my beloved. So basically, the gist of it, or the thing that like immediately made me think of it, was the line Gregory says when he gets back in contact with you. And now this again, this is like future, like not future lore, but this is like ruin.
Yeah.
Like this thing. But I think we were like, I think the Michael Afton room was obviously what got people thinking about Michael Afton in tandem with the Pizzaplex.
Yeah.
But the initial thing that got me was that line at the end of Ruin. Where my friend has access to the building maps. Just follow instructions. Now you can hear a distinct S on the end of that. So if they were just blocking out a pronoun, like her or his, well, they've left the S, so clearly it would be his.
Yeah.
Right, so they've not actually blocked anything out. So the thought process is that they've blocked out a one-syllable name. Just follow Mike's instructions.
Oh, I see. See, my first thought was it was Vanessa, or like Vanny or something, but I could also see it being someone else, or even like again, this is something a bit more for later, but even like Edwin as a possibility.
Yeah, well, it's because of how quick it is, right? And there's only time for one syllable.
Yeah, it's not like a long one.
So I'm getting Mike's from that because of the security breach room. And the moment I saw Mike's room in security breach, I was like, okay, he's alive. Right? Like, he's alive.
He just built his room.
I mean, so the weirdest part about his room is that, like, the walls are clean, the floor is clean except for the recently spilled, seemingly, popcorn. It's... The chair is dirty. Right?
Like he's crispy.
The furniture that's been put into the room is dirty and worn to the level of, I think, at the very least, the chair is the actual chair.
Yeah, unless he's just really, really crunchy and crispy after being like baked. That when he sits on it, it's dirty. But I could see it being, yeah.
I never thought that it made sense for him to choose to die, like Henry expected, right?
Yeah, because Henry kind of forced him into that.
Well, here's the thing: like Henry literally said there was a way out, right? Like there's
you can't have
to
it.
get out. But I don't think you want to use it. But that's Henry saying he doesn't think Mike wants to use it. Maybe Mike goes, "Oh, there's a way out of this. I'm leaving."
Like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done with my father's stuff. This is my job done. Bye, sayonara. Like,
well, that's the thing is, I don't think he would look at Henry going, "Yeah, I'm gonna set them on fire," and go, "Oh yeah, that's gonna work." After 3.
Yeah.
I mean, Springtrap's already been burned, and it didn't work, and Mike knows that. He's not just gonna go, "Oh yeah, set them on fire, that's gonna work, I'll stand here and die too." No, he's getting out and he's gonna make sure that they're dead.
So I see, like, your kind of, like, perspective is, like, he didn't get burnt at all. He just went, "No, I'm not doing this. Goodbye." Kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, we find out there's a way to get out for the guard. Or the franchise owner.
Yeah.
And I genuinely, with all of the trouble he's gone through to try to track his father down and stop all of this, right? He's gonna want to make sure it's done.
That is a good point. I mean, I feel like it would be a really cool moment to see, like we're in the sequel game, whatever it is, and we just see like a purple guy appear from the shadows, and it's like, "Oh, Michael!" That would be quite cool. That would be very cool.
It would be. So I could see that absolutely being who Gregory referred to in that one line. But mostly like his room being there with the original chair. And like, clearly this room has been recreated by someone who knows what it looks like. Right? Now I could see Fazbear owns sister location. Bunker, sure. I think it's under the Pizzaplex as well, but so they own that, you know, they own MCM, they own all of the like locations that have been Fazbear, but there's no reason that any like corporate executive should know what Michael Afton's living room looks like.
I think my only counter argument is, okay, so it's something kind of discussed before, but there is the potential that the mimic was in the Afton's house. And if Michael's room, like, it's something Billy mentioned, if Michael's room was actually in the Afton's house and not his own house, it could possibly be the mimic itself trying to recreate the Afton's house. But it's a bit, I don't know. I could definitely see what you're saying happening though. It's very specific. It's very detailed.
So I'm gonna also say, because I like, obviously, we go down under the Pizzaplex in Security Breach, and we see the pizza place, and we see, well, we didn't know what it was at the time, but now we know it's like MCM. like costumes and stuff. But like there's the pizza place down there, and then there's the area you fall into under the pizza place. With like clearly there's like all this stuff underneath. And then even back then, people were like, "Oh my goodness, they've been building on the same plot of land."
Yeah, it's just been stacked
this
and
whole
stacked.
time. Yeah. So if you're saying the room would be, and this like gets into like now we know stuff, but if you're saying the room would be in the actual Afton house, I think general consensus is that Afton built his house on the ruins of Edwin's house, or like repurposed Edwin's house into his own house, which would mean if the Pizzaplex, with how massive it is built over top of MCM, that they've gotten rid of the entire house except for Michael Afton's living room, which they've left intact for some reason.
That's why he didn't die. He was like, "Oh, I'll die here." No. My super cool chair, my super cool TV. I can't die. I can't lose those.
Well, no, like, because that then, like, it feels almost like either it's meant to imply, because it's on a weird level. I don't know if you've ever gone out the map in Security Breach.
I've seen clips.
But so it's on a weird, like, for lack of a better term, like Y level, like the height of the room is strange.
Yeah.
Because it's not at the height of the main floor of the Pizzaplex, of the ground floor where the doors are. It's lower. But it's not at the height of the floor below. It's like in the middle. And that's the only thing on that height level. So what I'm wondering is, did somebody who knew the room was supposed to be there and cared specifically about just that one room,
the view's too good,
like, construct a set of stairs down into an in-between area just to get back into it? And again, like, if that happened, like, who's done it?
I think the big thing...
the room is so weird.
The big thing as well with Security Breach is you have to look at intention rather than what's actually there. Like, for example, like the Burnt Trap ending. Obviously, Burnt Trap doesn't exist, but they were obviously told, make it look like William is here. So what were they told to build the Michael room? Like, were they directly told at the Michael room? Or was it like... yeah, it's so odd.
So, I don't think any Steel Wool dev would go, yeah, let me just put like a random little staircase down and then Michael's room from sister location here for no reason. I like that definitely, because it was described by the Steel Wool devs as Scott would just tell us to put like random things in and not really explain why, and we would just put them in. And that feels like it should fall under that category.
Oh, definitely. Like, it's so specific. Like, make it look exactly like Michael's room. Like, that was targeted, and I don't know why. Like, what is it trying to tell us? There's no, unless it is, I think it's either something to do that Michael had met the Mimic, or it is Michael is alive. There's like no in between, because it's either Michael built it or the Mimic built it. So
I mean, there's definitely people. Oh no, I'm gonna put that in the chat. We'll talk about this later.
I mean, there's the possibility that the Blob built it, to be fair, because Blob is like Ennard, to the best of my understanding. So
why would the Blob make Michael's living room?
It just thinks it's cool. It just has good memories there, you know. It has good memories. His bonding session with Michael.
Now, Ennard would have gone in there. But the thing is that Ennard is made of Circus Baby and the MCI children.
Which is why it's odd, because he is the only other one in my head. Like, if it's not part of the Afton house, he is the only one that we've seen in it. Like, we've seen Enna drag itself in, which in itself is a bit odd because it means he's dragged himself all the way across the street in there.
Canon ending, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that was the fake ending.
And it's just...
The canon ending is getting scooped.
Yeah. Yummy. To be fair, though, we do go home and look in our own mirror by the looks of it, and then our eyes are, like, pink.
I think it's...
I'm just going to shut my window quickly because I get creeped out talking about FNAF and having my window right there.
Oh, my... Oh, cool. Okay, what that reads to me is because we're playing as Mike. Right, so our point of view is that of Mike. I think that's meant to show that the whole time the robot is in his skin, he's consciously there to experience it. Like, he's awake through it.
That's not fun. That's not fun. Oh. Like...
He won't die. Sorry.
No, it's creepy. It's like... yeah, it's just a really horrific concept, but the fact that he'd still be going is quite funny, but also I feel like he'll look different if we do get to actually see him in whatever Security Breach 2 is. Like, obviously, again, we'll go into this more in detail later, but if we get to see him again in Security Breach 2, I don't think he'll just be human anymore. Like, he would have had to attach himself to something. Like,
I'm wondering if... hold on, we'll touch on that later, because that gets my mind going.
Okay. We'll move on to the next one then, which is another one that will come up in both, because I decide differently based on the game. Gregbot. One word, what do you think? With only what we knew then, do you think Gregbot may have been canon?
No.
Okay, you just very like, just no, not at all.
You said one word.
Beautiful. You know what? I applaud that. Why no? You don't have a word limit this time.
Oh, stick. Okay. Mainly because of the whole concept of like Patient 46 and the brainwashing and the balloon world minigame and everything. If he was just a robot, why did they need to brainwash him if they built him?
See, it goes into the whole concept. So again, I'll discuss this later because I'm significantly more a believer now than I was then, although I did vaguely believe it.
I'm less of a believer now.
Really?
Really?
I'm more. Like, again, I'll speak about it more later, but if we're going into the theme of AI versus humanity and we're talking about is Mimic really evil, you know, Gregory could easily have had to be influenced or brainwashed because he wasn't bad at that time, or maybe he got infected with something. But like, because obviously as well we know he's really intelligent because have you read Escape the Pizzaplex?
PDY? Oh, Escape the Pizzaplex. I've not like sat down and made sure I've read every page, but I have like gone through it.
Yeah, so there it feels like he's very intelligent. Like, Cassie can interact with the animatronics, but not to the point Gregory is. Like, Gregory is completely changing their programming. And I feel like, I don't know, at the time, it just felt like that was a very intelligent thing to be able to do. It's very... Yeah.
So I feel like what we're seeing in Escape the Pizzaplex with Gregory is that he's just recently, at that time period, been exposed to like the brainwashing and glitch trap and everything. Because we see kind of what's described with the animatronics having their negative traits amplified. with Gregory. Because Cassie describes him as like, oh, he's a bit of a prankster, he's a little bit of a troublemaker, but you know, it's fun.
He's a bit
and
silly.
She's alarmed by his behavior and the progression of his behavior. And I think if she's been friends with him for this long and he's always been like that and doing that kind of thing to the animatronics, she wouldn't be alarmed, and also she probably wouldn't still be hanging out with him based on her reactions, because she was done. Like at one point in the book she was just like, no, I'm done.
Yeah. But then...
And that was when Gregory made it so that she couldn't leave. But...
Yeah.
Like, and we see it, because like the first night, it's like, he scares her, right? And then by the end of the book, he's genuinely like trying to kill her.
Yeah, he's crazy.
So it definitely like amplifies. And so I think what we see is the previous night, he was probably normal Gregory. And then he gets exposed to... the glitch trap virus, the brainwashing, whatever you want to like call it, but that's when he gets exposed to it, is like the day before the first night in Escape the Pizzaplex. And then we see the progression of him being like his negativity being amplified, I suppose.
See, that's when I would propose, though, it's more like the animatronics and the humans. Because for the humans, it's like a complete switch over, you're a completely different person, as we see in Vanessa and Jeremy. But with the robots, like with
I don't know
Freddy...
that we do see that in either of them, really.
I feel like with Vanessa, it's quite clear, though, she's completely switching over, because in all the FNAF AR emails, it's kind of like she's not conscious of what she's doing. She doesn't know what's going on. She kind of turns into this and turns back and is like, what's happening? Whereas with Gregory, it seems to line up more with how the Glamrocks get infected. Like, Freddy gets more caring, or whether Monty gets more angry, Roxy more like self-conscious, and Gregory, who is already a prankster, now becomes significantly more a prankster. So to me, I feel like it follows the line of the animatronics more.
I'd have to reread those emails. Because I thought I remembered them feeling like a slow progression of her behavior gets more and more alarming to Lewis until she cuts contact with him. Or like her behavior, because at first he's like, you're searching some weird stuff. Did you search for help by itself? And then it ends with her like making a fake email and doing like genuinely illegal shit, like hacking into stuff and everything, and that's not her gig. Like, there was definitely one of the emails was like, I had no idea you were so into IT and that like you cared about it and that you were like all smart like that.
Creepy guy. I mean, I think you're right in that it was definitely a progression, but
I really
it was more
think
of a
that
switch
we're
over.
just seeing.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, like, she's definitely fighting it.
Yeah.
And I think that may be the difference, is that because Gregory is already like a mischief maker, a prankster, and also that he's just younger.
Yeah.
And therefore probably more like malleable. I could see him having that little kid thing of like, oh well, this is a prank, so it's gonna be fine. This is a prank, so it's gonna be fine. So there's this thing in his head going like, oh well, do this, it'll be really funny.
Yeah.
But it's actually really dangerous, but he's just quite young. And he doesn't really...
I can partially see it, but also Gregory's always been portrayed as being really intelligent. So I feel like if it reached the point his friend was getting on the verge of death, and it's like, the thing is, Vanessa was fighting it, but she was still switching over. It was more she was trying to fight for control, but she also had no consciousness when the other person switched over. Like when it flipped, I can't speak, the flip went over to Vanny instead, whereas Gregory, it just feels like consistent going downhill rather than, oh, I'm evil, I'm not, it's I'm consistently evil. And I feel like that to me is the difference.
I think that Vanessa did have, like, the memory of being Vanny. But I think it's more that, kind of like how an abusive relationship works, that she was scared into, kind of just trying to live with it. Because at that point, right, one, you've got this, like, horrible, for lack of a better way to describe it, like this horrible voice in your head telling you to do all these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like you remember doing all these things, and you know if you go for help, you're just admitting to doing crimes and telling everyone that you're insane, which doesn't sound super inviting, if I do say so.
Not the most. Bit tricky.
Yeah. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do see where you're coming from, but I definitely think it has the possibility of going either way.
Like, it may well just be that you're right and Gregory is struggling to fight the pranks, but I also don't think it's off the table that his mind has been infected like an animatronic, because it's going up, like, animatronic, his like personality is being over enhanced, for example. Yeah.
Like, so another one of the things is because of how different Vanessa and Jeremy's reactions were as well. Because Vanessa just kind of like gave in.
Yeah.
And I wonder if she did experience like abuse and trauma and stuff. So there's actually a thing, like, statistically, if you experience trauma as a child, you're actually more likely to find yourself in like traumatic or abusive situations as an adult. And so I wonder if she experienced some past trauma that just made her like a better target, like more likely to cow down and just try to fight through it. Whereas Jeremy, when faced with the same situation, he presumably takes a paper cutter to get, I'm assuming, to get the mask off.
Yeah, it does sound like that probably was
what he was aiming for, which obviously it wouldn't work because by the sounds of it, it's a chip that's actually put inside your brain. But
yeah, and then the tapes, the tape girl tapes. And it's like, okay, well, Jeremy's been acting a bit strange. He came in complaining of nightmares. He's acting weirder. It seems like they're getting ready to fire him. He sliced his face off.
Yeah, it's pretty horrific. With him, he's kind of like, he's a bit odd and then just goes downhill.
Well, he also has this progression, you know? From like, oh, Jeremy's been acting a bit weird. Oh, he's had nightmares. Oh, he's not weirder now. Oh.
Yeah.
That's yucky.
Yummy. Like, that's not what that's for. Silly Jeremy.
Silly Jeremy.
Silly Jeremy. But yeah, I think he and Vanessa both showed a kind of progression, but I think that's something that I'm hoping we get more about, is how it works, because we have kind of accounts of it, but we don't know directly what's going on, because Ruin, again, something we'll discuss more later in the other bit, but Ruin has the idea of, like, how we know that it's chips going in your head, and then we know from Help 1-2 that when you take off your mask, that's also influencing what you're seeing. So it's just a case of, how does it work? Like, obviously, is it the Mimic 1 program? Is that existing in universe? Because we haven't got any confirmation the actual program itself exists, or is it the actual Mimic somehow?
Technically, if you get a chip put into your brain, it's a transponder.
What does that mean?
So a transponder is able to receive, transmit, and respond to signals from an outside source. So signal gets sent to chip in head. It does its thing, and like in response. Right?
Yeah. Like. Yeah.
Does that make you a cyborg?
Huh. Maybe. I mean,
because
it's
if
tricky,
that makes you a cyborg, then yeah, Gregory's probably part robot.
That's a good point. I mean, I partially think, which again, it's another thing for later more. But I fully think there's a possibility that Cassie is going to be part robot later on, purely because she is so severely injured, and it could definitely link into this idea of like robots and humanity and where's the overlap, and just it's interesting. At the very least, it's a really interesting concept, and I will be quite sad if we don't get to fully explore and comprehend it.
I will say, part of the reason I put so much stock in Escape the Pizzaplex being like a good portrayal of the progression of the brainwashing is just because it's a hard thing to show in stuff like a collectible in a game, right?
Yeah.
Because a character experiencing this isn't really sitting down and explaining to you everything they're experiencing and every action they've done and how it's different from their past actions, right? Whereas in a book, like in writing, it's a lot easier to portray more nuanced concepts like that. Because you can really get like the inside thoughts of a character that they wouldn't voice aloud.
Yeah. You can kind of like understand it more.
Yeah, because part of the reason we know that like Cassie's alarmed in a lot of these sections, because outwardly she tries to play it off like, haha, Gregory, that's... Ooh, you got me.
You're so
but
silly.
Inside she's like, that's freaking weird, bud. I'm like, because there's definitely points where her inside thoughts are, I'm about to die. Whereas you wouldn't necessarily get that from her outside actions.
Yeah, and I think, thinking back now through Escape the Pizzaplex, I think the only thing that I would say slightly contradicts it is when the Regent shows up in the Pizzaplex, Gregory actually shows kind of like regard for Cassie's life. It's quite a contrast, because like in the other one, he's willing for Cassie to die, he's going to those extents, but when it comes to the Regent being in the Pizzaplex, which he knows could kill Cassie, he's like, oh, go hide, I don't want you to get hurt, can you go do this? It's just, it's odd.
I think it is just because he's already had that, like, I know this is dangerous to my friend, whereas like progressively doing more and more dangerous pranks, like where do you get to the point in a child's mind where you're drawing the line and going, this is too dangerous?
Yeah.
And like with the I think there's one where like Monty can kill Cassie.
I got that ending.
But if Gregory's there to like stop him, he will stop Monty, like, and he's just like, I don't know why he was trying to kill you. That wasn't supposed to happen. That's not what I told him to do. That's not what I programmed him to do. I don't understand. Like, so
it's
difficult.
Is he lying or not?
Know. Yeah. How good of an actor is Gregory?
Yeah, and I feel like, I don't know, and I really think Gregory is the kind of character that can totally be a good actor. Like the vibes we get, like even when he says, "Oh, I'm Gregory," when he like doesn't say his name at first, it definitely feels like he's playing something
Gregory.
off. I'm Gregory. It's just, it feels like he does have the capacity to be lying, and he is definitely lying about some stuff. Like when we first meet him in Security Breach, he is not being transparent. Like, how did he even get in the cake hatch? Like, how long has he been in there? So...
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. Like, a lot of people read that as, like, he genuinely doesn't remember as well.
He's just like, where am I?
Oh, my. It got spooky and I hid inside this robot. Don't know why I knew how to do that. Now, gosh, the robot's waking up. Hi, robot, I'm in your tummy.
You're pregnant.
You're pregnant?
But it's just, obviously, as well, Gregory was inside Freddy during the performance, because that's what causes Freddy to go into safe mode, is because it's like, oh, this isn't what's meant to be happening. I'm just gonna shut down. Like, he's been in there for a minute. Like, he must be being thrown around.
I don't think so, actually.
Really?
I think he climbs in the stomach hatch after, because he says, you were sleeping and I climbed inside. So I think it would have been while he was shut down. That he got into the robot, because, and so a lot of people have gone like, okay, when we see like through his eyes in the opening and he gets the error A lot of people are like, well, he was supposed to be working with Gregory because Gregory was brainwashed. So when he receives the signal to capture Gregory, because now Gregory's not doing the brainwashy stuff anymore, that's like the conflicting orders are what shut him down.
I mean,
so I don't.
Yeah, the only reason I thought it was otherwise is because on the opening screen, there's like a picture of a person that flashes only for a second, and that's the only reason I kind of thought it. But like, I can see it. Why did he do that?
I can see that picture, like in my head. I can see that picture of a person that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I definitely, I went with the idea of like he's looking for a person is what that flashes in, is like you're supposed to find this person, or he sees a person that is a threat that he like regards as a threat.
Yeah.
Which should be really.
And
cool
I have to
as well.
wonder, are those animatronics meant to be like detecting threats? Like, is that part of their programming meant to be, you know, detecting people who would be like a threat to a child or a child, like children that are in danger or something like that as well?
I feel like Gregory himself is a threat as well, because now the animatronics know that they've been tampered with. Because even Freddy's like,
yeah,
oh wait, hang on, this isn't. Like in again into the other book, like obviously we didn't know it at the time, but it definitely feels like it's a kind of, this isn't meant to be happening and you are dangerous because you're getting us to hurt people. Like at the time it seemed almost more like the animatronics were just malfunctioning, but then later on it's like it feels more like Gregory is actually a threat to everyone.
Yeah, and I think it depends as well on whether he's brainwashed or not, whether he is a threat. Because I really do think that before the influence of, you know, Glitch Trap and everything, he was just, I mean, mischievous and a little prankster, but not anything that would have genuinely been life-threatening.
Yeah. And then
more like that, I want to get into this thing that I think is fun. I want to sneak around here and have more fun. Like, I want to get like a good score in this game so I get lots of tickets so I can get like prizes at a booth. Like that sort of mischievous.
Yeah. Not murder mischievous.
Not murder mischievous.
But yeah, I feel like on that note, if we kind of move on to the next theory, because we can also explore that kind of more in the next bit when we're talking about what has changed since. There was one theory going around.
Yeah, there are a load more theories just listed here that I'm seeing. We could blaze through them if you like.
I don't mind. I feel like we're giving them a good amount of time. It's a good amount of time. So one
we spent a load of time on Gregbot.
Oh, so much on Gregbot. Greg, he deserves it. I love Gregbot. I'm a Gregbot lover. Oh, actually, that's
I don't hate it. I just don't think it's the case.
So, William Afton or Mimic, at the time, what do you think Steelwool thought it was? Because obviously Scott knew it was the Mimic, but do you think when Steelwool made the game, what was their kind of mindset? Do you think they were actually just trying to remake William? Or
I actually disagree with you on Scott thinking it's the Mimic, even.
Oh, okay.
I think the original iteration of Burn Trap, the one that Scott had in mind that wasn't supposed to move, I don't think that was supposed to be the Mimic.
Oh, that is freaky. Oh, no, I don't like that. Oh, that's so freaky. Just like William just in the walls watching you. That's... What do you mean?
Well, the way he described it was that Burn Trap was never supposed to move. You were just supposed to like see him out the corner of your eye, and then when you double took, he was supposed to be gone.
Oh, God, no, I don't like that. That's nasty. That's nasty. Oh.
So that reads almost more like a hallucination.
Oh, that's giving me chills. Oh, no. Oh, that's really horrific. Like, the corpse of William Afton out of the corner of your eye. And if it was a hallucination, that then makes me think more, why does Gregory know there's a corpse of William? Like, how is he able to envision that?
Well, I mean, I never thought that Henry's fire worked.
Oh, God.
Maybe it breaks animatronics down to a point where they don't function very well, which might be why he's having trouble moving. I mean, what happens to someone who's in a springlock suit that they can't move? They project themselves as a hallucination.
See, what would you then say Ultimate Custom Night is then? Like, if William is still going, which is really gross,
Okay,
but if he
so-
is, yeah.
Ultimate Custom Night. Hold on, we're gonna have to go on a whole journey really quickly.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Pizza Sim Fire, right?
Mhm.
We've got Molten Freddy. We've got Circus Baby. We've got Burn Trap. Or not Burn Trap. Scrap Trap.
Yep.
Right? We've got Lefty potentially. With the puppet
Mhm.
inside. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, burn the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Clearly, at some point, things begin to amalgamate down there again. Right?
Yeah.
So, I actually think UCN is occurring inside of the blob.
Oh. So kind of like the blob is being piloted by Cassidy, kind of thing?
Or at least Cassidy would be the one that has the most control of it.
Someone else actually brought up this theory that William was actually, like, almost inside it or something. Like, you're not the only one to bring this up, which kind of intrigues me.
Another thing, if you look at the burn trap model, the way it's put together
Yeah.
is, one, the flesh on it
Yeah.
is just entirely inhuman,
Yeah, it's...
right? Like, it looks like...
Yeah.
I don't know, it looks like the way it's growing across the... And it looks like it's growing across the endoskeleton. Looks evil in a way, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
like growing
that's-
on him.
Yeah, that's the read I get, is that someone's gone down and gotten what they could of the old suit. They've strapped it to an endoskeleton, everything they could find of Afton, and maybe
Yeah.
they found a little bit of organic material. Now, we know Remnant has healing properties,
Mm-hmm.
right? What about Agony?
Oh.
Do we think Agony could cause flesh to grow across an endoskeleton?
I think it's not outside
Not
of the realm of
impossible,
possibility.
right?
Like, I'm looking at him now.
And you see what I mean, right?
Yeah. It definitely looks
Um,
like it's growing
yucky. It's
rather
yucky.
than like being
Yeah.
pendant. It's stuff growing on him, which is, yeah, as you said, yucky. I mean, even the idea of William being in the walls just watching this kid gives me massive chills. So I think the only argument I've seen against that is that when Burnt Trap exits that chamber, his arm is in a kind of very specific position, and it almost looks like the position of Mimic when he's constantly holding Tiger Rock. And that's the only other thing that I've seen arguing against that.
Yeah. So it's not like he's just holding it there, right? That
Yeah.
screenshot is taken while, like, during a motion.
Yeah, because I'm watching it now. It's
And
when he
that's-
first opens it.
Yeah, so it's like he's picked up his arm and then he reaches out and grabs the side of the thing. And I
Mm.
don't think it's meant to be like I'm holding a stuffy. I think it's meant to be like my arm is coiled back so I can grab the side of the tube.
I see, yeah. Because it's when it's a position he's been frozen in, but I definitely can see it, like, because thing is, it doesn't necessarily have to be William Afton alive either. It could very easily just be some kind of remnant or agony, like Into the Pit style. Like,
Yeah.
it's not really him, but it's some kind of remnant
It's also-
of him.
It's interesting you say frozen. Because there's a fuckload of liquid nitrogen down there.
Oh, there's so much. It's so odd.
And there's truckloads of it. And it's not just like, oh, well, this asset came with the words liquid nitrogen on. No, there's some with like Fazbear branding on them that still say liquid nitrogen. Like, this is
Yeah.
purposefully liquid nitrogen.
What is it for? What is liquid nitrogen used for generally?
Flash freezing things.
Oh.
Keeping things cold.
Oh, kind of like keeping something that was burnt cold.
So liquid nitrogen is like it will instantly freeze things, and you can pull up like videos of like playing with liquid nitrogen. Like people will like freeze things that should not be able to shatter. They'll like dump some liquid nitrogen over them and then break them with a hammer, and they burst like glass.
Oh.
Like bananas and stuff like that. Because nitrogen has to be very cold to stay a liquid. And so what they do is they make it a liquid, they get it into these pressurized tanks so that it can't like turn back into a gas because it's under too much pressure.
Yeah.
And so it can't hold heat energy because it can't become a gas. So it stays really cold.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm pretty sure we use liquid nitrogen. I know some people, upon their death, choose to be frozen, to be unfrozen in the future. And I believe liquid nitrogen is what is used for it. So I could see it as some kind of like, like keeping his body in there.
Yeah. And so that's the thing. Like if he's down there, because the concept of like, how does he get out the blob, right? And maybe it's so much that some part of him that was in the blob got out, but that somebody took a different endoskeleton and slapped some organic material and pieces of the suit on, and is like growing him effectively a new host using agony or remnant, right? Which would be William Afton, that he would then, as that grows, be more attached to it and be able to like migrate his consciousness from inside the blob to the thing. Because like I feel like with Afton we've kind of got almost like a soul shattering situation going on, right? Because I think there's Afton agony within the VR game, and that's why we've got Glitch Trap. And I think there's Afton agony or remnant or something big Afton on that endoskeleton that is comprising Burnt Trap. And there's definitely a whole load of William Afton inside the blob. Just because it is going to be... It's clearly picked up pretty much everything it could find. Right? So it would have grabbed any of the William Afton it could. And now if Cassidy's the one piloting it, and she's trying to do UCN in there, right? That really explains why the blob went, what's this, a rabbit man? I'm gonna eat this motherfucker.
Yummy.
In that one security breach in there,
Yeah. I mean, oh gosh, sounds again. I feel like I partially agree with you, because I do think UCN is just genuinely William's personal hell unless they have retconned it. I do think that is its own separate thing, and I think Burnt Trap is more the agony and the fury kind of like left within him. And I think Glitch Trap is just the mimicking Afton, considering we have stuff like considering
so the issue sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say sorry, mic is crunching. Considering we have the Afton family recreation in the post-it room, to me that's giving more I understand Afton and I want to imitate, rather than just Afton's leftover agony.
I don't... So I run into the issue of the behavior of the Glitch Trap AI program. I think it's... Because we've seen the mimicking, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to genuinely being haunted, which is like the David that properly acts like David. That is a haunted endoskeleton.
Yeah, that guy's freaky.
Right, but mimicking Gregory? That's done terrifically badly. And not physically whatsoever. It's only through remixing the voice, right?
Yeah.
And then the mimic we see chasing us all over the costume manor that one's also not like properly mimicking anything. It's just running through set voice lines. Like the only thing we see the mimic successfully mimic, and I say successfully very loosely, is the way things sound.
Yeah. But
So
yeah, sorry, yeah, go.
like that's where I struggle with the Glitch Trap AI program acting so much like Afton. Like it does too good of a job. And I do think it is the AI program, but I think some of those circuit boards that they scanned or something had to just be a little bit agony good or something.
A little bit.
Because it's just too good at it.
Yeah.
Compared to the rest of the instances we've seen.
I mean, to me, it really depends on the Mimic program itself, because we've kind of learned that the Mimic program, depending on who it's interacted with, can like change. So for example, we have one Mimic and it has the ability to fully mimic Fiona, even her actions, with no issue.
Unless it's haunted.
But I think...
Or no, I suppose we do have a good example in Secret of the Mimic of it actually mimicking very well a person, and that is Edwin.
Yeah. It was
I do think Fiona's ghost is around.
Okay. I feel like I'm quite on the opposite stance, because I feel like the newer era is still messing around a bit with haunting, but more stepping away and moving towards the idea of AI and its humanity rather than going into actual possession. Like, I feel like this storyline itself is trying to separate itself from the idea of possession. But I can see where you're coming from.
So, this would go so far off the topic of security breach. We're doing it anyways. So the frequency, the 4625 number, the frequency Edwin talks about turning to hear Fiona's voice. So, fun fact, frequency makes you think of radio station, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there is a radio station, 4625, that's the wavelength, that's the frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Commonly known as the ghost radio station.
Oh. Okay, you've got me a bit more there. I can... That does feel a lot more intentional then. I feel like... Yeah, I mean... It was odd that the Mimic was able to mimic Fiona based only on tapes, so I could see it influencing somehow. I could see it playing a part.
So another thing to like go in tandem with that, do you know how a spirit box works?
Yes, you flip through frequencies really fast, right?
Yeah, so basically it's a ghost using radio frequencies to communicate. So if we're using a radio, right, and we're going to 462, the frequency of the ghost radio station, and we're hearing ghosts say things using like pre-recorded lines, right? Because what we hear in the audio log is he sets it up, he tunes into the station, and what he hears back is Fiona's lines from the birthday reels.
Yeah.
So that's pre-recorded lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, like a spirit box, when you use it, you're going through radio stations, and the pre-record, like the somebody else talking or the pre-recorded lines or whatever happens to be playing in those radio stations, the ghost kind of picks and chooses the words out of those that it wants you to hear.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think
it just feels very similar.
Yeah, it feels quite intentional there. I mean, yeah, no, I'm with you on that one then. I'm with you. I feel like, okay, we'll talk about it more later, but we are definitely missing some big puzzle pieces here. Like, we're getting closer to a full conclusion,
for sure.
There's like big chunks missing, which I suspect we'll get in a DLC and the final game. But
Yeah, I feel like I can see that happening. I can very much see that being a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can vibe with
But
that one.
The Edwin mimicking, that one, because Edwin is very clearly also alive. He cannot be haunting that mimic that is mimicking Edwin very well. But then it's mimicking what it's seen Edwin do only. So do we think Afton's bringing Mimic along while he kidnaps kids?
I don't think it's entirely impossible. I mean, obviously the Mimic has had the opportunity somehow to spend some time with Afton. Like, I think it's pretty much certain that somehow he's been able to imitate Afton, and that means he has to have at least some experience. So, but then also at the same time, when he imitates Gregory, those are not lines that Gregory has ever said before. Like, these are, he never said, "Hey, catch him from there."
They're made of the lines that we've heard Gregory say. Pretty much all of them, if you open the audio file, you can see where they've cut it together from the previous voice lines.
So it's like...
I didn't know that. It's interesting. So it's kind of just imitating via cutting. Although, to be fair, if we are talking about the context of FNAF VR, it doesn't actually say anything except some very distorted lines.
And it's the "hello, can you hear me" that the tape roll says. And that's why I'm thinking, like, it is definitely the AI program.
Yeah.
It's just too on point for how it behaves like Afton to not be just, like, a little bit infected.
Yeah. I feel like that's the big puzzle piece we're going to get very soon in probably a Secret Mimic DLCs. I think we are going to get either how Afton...
The reasoning.
Yeah. We're either going to see that Afton took Mimic and has been using Mimic for his own gain, or it is the agony somehow inflicted. Like, maybe, but we know now Mimic was probably, like, might even have been in the FNAF 6 basement when William died and his agony came over from there. Like, it's exciting, but it's definitely complicated. Just kind of, like, explain to me, who do you think Gregory is? Like, who or what do you think Gregory is?
Mischievous kid who got into something he shouldn't have and got brainwashed because of it.
But what about his parents?
Made friends with the tech daughter.
What do you think about his family? Because obviously we have an ending where Gregory is out on the streets, and to me that feels like Scott has directly said, make sure there's an ending where Gregory is on the streets kind of thing, or homeless. So what do you think that kind of situation is?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really have an opinion on Gregory's parents because I feel like it's not, at least currently, it's not really relevant. Because, and there's a couple of reasons why. One, what he's doing. Like, what he was doing in the Pizzaplex before getting brainwashed and what he's doing afterwards. Clearly, he does not care what his parents think about it if he has parents. Right?
Yeah.
The sleeping on the street, that could just be, kid is lost, doesn't know how to get home. Find somewhere to curl up and take a nap, and I'll deal with it in the morning. And like, I don't know, it doesn't seem super relevant whether he has parents unless they start coming to look for him. I mean, maybe he's one of the kids on that newspaper that's missing. Because he does have parents and it's been reported, but it just hasn't become relevant, Yeah,
because it's very, again, those missing posters are incredibly intentional. Like, to me, it feels like it's one of the few details where Scott actually said, make sure you show that there are people missing, and that's how it's kind of, like, manifested. So I do feel like something's going on there. But it's just...
Yeah.
It's intriguing.
You have, like, just a few left here. Freddy possessed by Michael. Obviously, like, I think Michael's under the Pizzaplex. Vanessa is Elizabeth. I don't think literally. I don't know if that was meant to mean
I think she's represented literally
is.
Some people thought she literally was Elizabeth or some kind of robot version, but it feels like it's more like the Mimic trying to build his family back together, and Vanessa is part of that because she looks like it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, she could be could have been brainwashed to be more like Elizabeth, and she could have been chosen because of her visual similarities to Elizabeth, but I don't think that she is physically Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Freddy being Michael. Lefty survived the pizzeria simulator fire. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a big part of that is because there is puppet imagery all over the Pizzaplex. There's like Marions everywhere. We don't see her burn. I mean, as Henry said, I know you'd never be content to rest, so...
think because of what we see in Ruin, I don't think Henry burned Charlie, at least.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what he did with Lefty, like maybe he used the scooper to get Charlie out, or take the puppet out of Lefty, or whatever, but I don't think he burned Charlie. It's also... And he's got the mimic trapped down there. And he's got a scooper. And we see the scooper get used on the mimic.
Yeah. See, the only thing is, I would consider him
have burnt them, because I don't remember where it was, but there's some kind of blueprint or something that says the only way you can get rid of agony and stuff is by burning them.
So actually, it doesn't say anything about agony. It says that remnant might be neutralized by high temperatures, but we've already seen that failed in FNAF 3. So
yeah, see, my mindset though is Henry doesn't know that. He doesn't know that Michael has failed it, so in his mind, if it's the only way to save his daughter, he will do it.
I don't know. I feel like because of the characterization we got of Henry, most of it comes from the novels, right?
Yeah.
What does he do in the novels? He thinks he's got this doll that's haunted by his daughter, that when he puts it into a robot, it's really his kid, right? So if Henry literally has his daughter's ghost, you know.
I feel like, though, Henry himself is dead. Like, personally, I do feel like
at this point,
he's not kicking.
Absolutely.
He's not kicking no more.
You think that he maybe like attempted something there with that scooper?
I think
I do.
It's complicated because
it's very likely he was the one to put the puppet in Lefty. Like, it definitely feels like he was the one that made that trap.
I feel like he made Lefty to get the puppet.
Yeah. But if his intention was to take her out of it again, I don't think he'd use the scooper because he knows it's brutal. He would have put some, like...
Well, that's a different scooper. That's another thing. That's redesigned. It looks more, what's the word? Accurate isn't the word, but it's close.
Yeah.
Like, not necessarily that it would be gentler, but that the motions it would do would be more refined, and less likely to cause, like, lasting damage to something.
Yeah, but I would just say, though, again, if Henry has specifically built this suit for his daughter not to be hurt, I definitely see it more of it as perspective as he would have some way to get her out.
I don't think he made it for her not to be hurt. I don't think he made it for her not to be hurt, necessarily.
Oh.
It delivers electric current.
To keep
you know
her,
those
like,
controlled
docile.
shocks in Sister Location?
Yeah, she's forced to be calm. But,
she is constantly being electrocuted inside of Lefty.
Yeah.
It says so in the blueprint.
It does indeed. It just... I don't know, it feels like a lot of extra steps when he could just have a button inside it that lets it out, or a remote control. Like, we know he's really smart, so if he built a way for her to go in, I feel like he would have built a way for her to get out without having to be scooped out. But
so if he's trying to basically put her into a better or more suitable body, then he's not going to want her to still be in the puppet anyway. So he's going to want to use the ideas that Afton has kind of used over the years, where you pull the animatronic out, you melt down the remnant, and then you put it into something else.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's pulled Charlie out of this animatronic using the scooper,
Yeah.
did he successfully put her into another body, or has her remnant goo just kind of been in the scooper the whole time?
It's just chilling there. I think, yeah, I don't think it's impossible that at least some remnant, not necessarily even from Charlie, but in general, that some remnant is staying. Like, I do think there is, like the Blob specifically, the Blob is not the Mimic. He cannot be the Mimic. He has to be, like, because he's in ruin too, he's definitely some kind of possessed mess. Like,
Yeah.
he is possession. At the end of the day, he is possession. So someone's remnant is still here. While we don't know who it is, definitely, someone's remnant is still around. So it's just a question of whose is that?
Whose?
Because, yeah, I thought maybe at first
people?
it's like, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, you know, this is obviously the game not being handled properly. But then intentionally having it in ruin is like, this is this is real. Like, something big is here. Yeah.
But like, so my concept with the Blob was basically because with Cassidy and UCN and Cassidy being in control of it, we know literally that Cassidy can create an entire world, but how much energy does that require? Is she having to seek out more sources of Remnant and Agony to incorporate into this mass to use that energy on keeping up this torture chamber effectively?
I mean, there are a lot of wires going down into the basement of the Pizzaplex. I almost could see Glitch Trap being the farm. Not Glitch Trap,
Maybe,
Burnt
but
Trap.
I don't think so. I will say that you can find a note in Security Breach, one of the duffel bag messages. That's basically like there's something underground that's just pulling power. Like so much power. What the heck? Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, now that we know Burnt Trap wasn't meant to be down there, it's like, what is it? Because it is entirely possible that it's Mixus or Fiona or whatever we're calling it now. It is entirely possible that that's what's draining the power.
Do you think the Mixus computer is just the same one as Fiona, like physically the same one? Or a separate one?
I don't know, because if it is the same one as Fiona, then clearly William has interfered, because this creature is definitely, his purpose is definitely still to keep away from the Mimic. But if it's not Fiona, then it's very, very obvious that William has interfered here, because now it's a rabbit. So
yeah,
that's the thing. A lot of questions we have now have clear answers. We are just missing a few connective pieces, because the way that Stillwell is holding its narrative now, it's really like they are giving us the pieces, they're feeding it to us. So I think we are going to be fed the answers. It's not going to be like classic FNAF where you don't get the answers. It's going to be you get them, we will tell you if you wait long enough. But it's just it's fascinating, because this is really nice. It's kind of like there are mysteries around, but knowing we are going to get an answer, and we might, like, we're not actually meant to be able to tell the answer yet, as opposed to the original games. It's fresh, but it's refreshing. It's refreshing.
I think you've got a little more faith in getting the answers eventually than I have.
I fully do.
Because,
yeah.
So here's the thing, right? Like, Secret of the Mimic, it has answered a lot of questions, but I think it's posed even more questions. And I don't see how all of these questions get answered in a game that is also, like, compelling as a game, if that makes sense.
So, we'll discuss this more in this affecting the future of the games, because I have like a very solid idea of what's gonna happen. But what is the game lore now? Would you like to explain Mike Mimic to me? Because that's very interesting.
Oh my god. Okay. So I do not believe this theory.
Mm-hmm.
However, there are people, and quite frankly, I don't remember who they were.
Mm-hmm.
But there are people who have said that Afton took the Mimic home and raised it as his own son, Mike. And that Mike is the Mimic.
He does not have that much love in his body. He didn't love his own children. Why would he love a robot? Like,
clearly he didn't love the robot, obviously.
Yeah. Although Ballora was a bit freaky, I will say, but I think at least his original self. I think his original self, original children, they were all humans at the very least, but there is no way Michael, this child he despised, would either A, be a robot in the first place, or B, allow a mimic version to go through. Like, I might Google why people think this as well, more reasons, but where has this come from?
I don't remember who said it. I definitely, I saw it in the sanctuary. Like, I saw it being discussed in TD's recording server. And it's been brought up to me, in VC of, that it was being discussed, which means someone brought the idea up, and I don't know who it was.
Oh, so I'm seeing a slightly different variation. I've looked at it online. It looks like some people believe that it actually happened at the scooping. So when he got scooped, he became hollowed out as a vessel for the Meg. But then, I feel like that doesn't really...
Oh, I've not heard that version. The version I heard was that he literally went in there after us, grabbed the Mimic, and was like, "You're my son now."
I want this one. I want this one. Oh, some schematics. Oh, a child. Yep, I'll take that. A few bots. Yeah, I don't quite think I believe that one. I think...
Yeah.
I don't think I'm quite with that one. Do you want to explain your other one? Actually, I'm going to read how you describe this for the audience as well, because I love this description. Mike using robot parts to replace his skeleton after getting fucking emptied. Would you like to explain
I want to
that?
know.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm coming up with a theory, this is how I write the notes. Because nowadays, I edit Cryo's videos, and I'll give him all of my evidence points and everything, and he puts together a script for mine, which I then go in after him and edit it, so it sounds more like me. But this is the kind of notes that he gets from me.
That is beautiful.
Evidence points.
Gregory is a fucking robot. Oh gosh. Yeah, that is beautiful. But yeah, would you like to explain that one as well?
Okay, so that thought popped up in my head. I can't remember what we were discussing earlier. I think it was we were talking about cyborgs.
Cassie having robot parts.
Yeah, you said something about Cassie getting robot parts, yeah. And then I was like, well, I mean, Mike was empty. They took his skeleton out to fit a robot in there. Maybe he's not stable. Maybe he had to, insert some parts. Maybe he's cyborged himself out to, be able to move around and do stuff.
That would be incredibly badass if that's how we see him again. We hear his voice saying, hello, and then it just comes out Robot Michael. That would be really cool. Really spooky, because it's skin on the endoskeleton, but...
Cassie, it's me, Michael. I did it. I cyborged out.
That is beautiful. That was beautiful. That would be peak FNAF. That's the best FNAF ending that ever FNAF'd. Oh, yeah.
Like I'm looking now. I'm trying to find where I gave my notes. On because I'm editing a video now. That I did this way. And I'm trying to find where it said here we go. The 20-year line from FNAF 1 finally makes sense because these stupid fucking things were run in the 70s. Fuck you, everyone who said this was the retcon. That includes a withered circle, and I think it was Hyperdroid.
That is
and then in parentheses,
beautiful.
arch nemesis. I don't actually remember.
Oh, that is peak. You know what? That would make my editing days so much better when I've got to sit here for hours and edit, seeing those notes. Oh, that would brighten up my day. Oh, wow.
So that's the kind of thing that when Cryo is putting together a script, that's the sort of notes that he has to work off of.
Beautiful.
There's the bullet point. FNAF 3 map is seen in 1979, and then a sub bullet point that just says "What the fuck."
That is peak. That is peak. Oh Lord! I mean, at least it's accurate. That's the FNAF lore at this point is just what the fuck. What is going on anymore? No one knows. But I will finally as well use this segment to talk about something I've wanted to talk about for all these parts. It's friggin' robot. Oh, my mic's breaking. It doesn't want me to say it. Microphone, no! Stop it. Okay. You're a robot too, microphone. Yes. So I firmly believe that one, Edwin survived, not necessarily until security breach, but he survived enough to make an impact because I don't think he's finished with. I think that Gregory is a robot. I think he was made maybe originally as an exoskeleton for David, or I also think he might have been made as a new cradle protocol, a new way to defeat the Mimic. But I think there is a possibility that William tried to steal him or something, because the comparisons between Gregory, David, and Crying Child are ridiculous. Like, even to the point now that in one of either the security breach or the ruin endings, there's that ending with Freddy and Gregory sitting on a hill. We then have exactly that with Mimic and David in one of the Secret of the Mimic endings. It really feels like they're trying to draw so many parallels, especially now that we know that Crying Child's name is probably David. I really feel like it's a trilogy of characters. Dave.
This is why Hyperdroid is my nemesis. It's because I released a short with the Dave name like a couple of months before he released his big video.
Yeah.
That's why he's my nemesis.
Because you got it first. You got it first.
Yeah. And he got all the recognition.
Oh.
Now, to be fair, to be clear, I don't think he stole my theory.
He just stumbled upon it.
Great minds think alike. And we both worked our way there separately.
Yeah. But I really feel like it cannot be a coincidence that we have David, then Dave, and then Gregory, who everyone memes on it, but it's really odd how similar Gregory's clothes are. Even the little swoop of his hair is to Crying Child. I think at this point he's a robot. I don't know the exact connections, but I think he is going to be integral in how we defeat the Mimic. I think Gregory and, well, probably David is his name, but Gregory and Mimic are going to die together. Because at the end of the day, I discussed this in another video, but the Mimic isn't inherently evil. because he only killed those employees because they were coming into the factory trying to get his schematics and wipe his memory so he wouldn't remember who he is anymore. Like, he left Edwin, but Edwin beat him up. Like, it was, in his mind, it was fair. Like, you know, Edwin broke his legs. Edwin is now paralyzed. Not necessarily dead, but paralyzed. Like, it doesn't feel like any of Mimic's actions were inherently evil, and it really feels like that's what we're going to come around to in the end. It's just David and Mimic together dying.
So I do agree with you that Mimic is not like inherently evil, but I disagree with you on how much Mimic is thinking about these things. Like, he's not going like, oh yeah, that's fair. Like, you took my legs, you don't have legs. This is fair. Ha ha ha.
Equality.
Like, I don't think he's thinking that much about it. I think it's just he is acting the way Edwin acted. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm thinking about like getting back at you or this being fair or anything. It's just that his view of Edwin is, oh, not right now, buddy. Daddy's busy, buddy. Why don't you go ask your mom? Just brushing him off all of the time.
Whereas I'm more oh sorry, yeah, you go.
So it's not so much like a calculated like tit for tat, this is fair, this is deserved type of thing. It's just following the programming. I am mimicking what you have done.
Whereas I feel like it's not necessarily calculated. Like, when he killed those employees, I don't think he thought, oh, they're trying to hurt me. It was more of a, oh, I'm in danger, I will kill them because, you know, that will stop me, I will stop them.
I don't think that it thinks it's in danger is the thing. The Mimic that chases us feels animalistic, for lack of like a better descriptor.
Yeah.
And it's giving agony, you know? To me, it's giving agony.
Okay.
With agony mixed with getting the heck beaten out of you. I could see that just making you murder everything.
Kill people, yeah.
Whereas
because in the Mimic story from Tales, we get this scene, and the scene is like more fleshed out. It feels more directed than a lot of the other plot points that we get in the story. So it feels like this bit had like maybe in the outline Scott gave to the writer like more details or something, because it's very clearly like Edwin beating this robot, and then it's like he could feel all of his rage and negative emotions channeling through the metal into the endoskeleton. You know, like that is so I'm putting agony in this thing. Like so it really gives, because we hear Edwin in an audio log beating the heck out of presumably a Mimic endoskeleton in M2. Which would be that same situation. So if we look at Tales the way we've been looking, well, the way most people look at like Frights or the novels, as just like, here is kind of the rules of the universe, here's how things work, here's what is possible.
Yeah.
Like, if events occurred this way, this would be possible. That would mean that Edwin beating the heck out of the Mimic in Secret of the Mimic could imbue it with agony and make it violent like that.
Yeah. I think...
However...
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
I don't think the Mimic he beat, the Mimic that's chasing us, can be the same one as David. Mimic. The one that's in the room.
So, my argument to that is the Mimic that we see has his arm in David holding Tiger Rock position. When he walks in, he specifically has that hold like he's holding Tiger Rock, and that to me is the one thing. That
which one are you talking about?
The chase scene in Ruin, right towards the end.
I'm not talking about Ruin. I'm talking about in Secret of the Mimic. You're being stalked by a mimic the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the same one that's in the closet.
So
in Secret of the Mimic, I do think there are 2 existing mimic endoskeletons, neither of which is Fiona.
Yeah. So, where would you think the other one would be? Because my instant thought is that it would be Gregory or something. I didn't even touch my mic and it's breaking. Did it stop? Okay.
Are we? Hold on. I've not understood the question. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So
I would kind of re-explain it. It's kind of like, so where do you think the other one is now? Because my immediate thought is, if David Mimic is not the same as that Mimic, then David Mimic would potentially be Gregory or something. But then again, I feel like the Ruin Mimic is definitely the David one, again, because of the way he's holding. I do think it's all the same Mimic, and I'll explain a bit why after, but what kind of do you envision happening then? If these are 2 separate Mimics, where is the other one?
That is an amazing question. And I don't have the answer for it, but I have really, really good evidence that it is 2 separate mimics in Secret of the Mimic. But I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Oh.
Because it's in the video I'm editing right now.
Okay.
Sometime after I have a full-on, 5-minute long crash out about William Afton's bad decisions. And I'm not kidding, it's a full-on crash out. It's really fun to edit, because it's fun to listen to.
Bryce crashing out. Okay, so I think I would take this point then to, I think, disagree with you. Because I do think you're right, you're 100% right, and that is that agony, the microphone, is that there is agony inflicted, but I don't think necessarily that the Mimic is completely unconscious either, because it's very clear to me that the whole theme has been humanity versus AI, and where does humanity come from? And I really think the Mimic is almost human, because at the end of the day, it was just a child that got beaten, and he still carries his little toy because that's what he sees he is. I think he's intelligent, and at that point when after his legs are broken, I really do think he gains intelligence and he gains thought, because he can think, he can process, but I think he really is his own kind of I think he's more conscious than we think, and I think that's going to be the big ending of the game, is that we realize he's never been trying to hurt someone. At the end of the day, it's just a scared child, a scared, abused child. Yeah.
So, the reason that I don't think Edwin beat the Mimic David possesses, I will tell you.
Okay.
Because there's just and I would love if you could come up with a way to argue this, but do you remember what the outside of David's bedroom door looks like?
I haven't seen the ending fully because I didn't want to spoil myself yet, but just describe it to me.
I will do you one better.
Mm-hmm.
I will DM you a picture.
Okay, so it's boarded up.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you know how you get into that room?
I believe it's to do with all the collectibles, and then you have to go through the Moon EXE story, and then it's something in the house, right?
So, you get all the collectibles, you go through Moon.exe, you get the glitch permission, which is like 7th, I think, permission upgrade.
Oh, in those rooms where there's like a little
And then,
code.
yeah. You can get into the rooms that you can't normally access.
Mhm.
And then you pick up these audio tapes. And you have to slot, I can't remember how many of them there are, but you have to slot them all into a thing on the wall. And this thing on the wall is connected to a vent. The vent is closed and locked and does not open until you put all of these tapes in.
Mhm.
Okay, so there's 2 ways in, because there's not even any windows in this room. So there's 2 ways to get in. There's the locked vent that if something had gone in out of without the tapes would have had to break it, and it's not broken. And then there's the barricaded door. So
Okay, so it's kind of hard for him to. So.
do you think
Yeah.
the mimic, the M2, that we hear talking to Edwin while Edwin is dying, that mentions that it just gave itself new legs, do you believe that that mimic is the one Edwin beat?
That is very interesting because I've talking about this before, in that the mimic from Ruin doesn't have the coils in his legs to shrink. Now, initially, obviously, that is just because he's had to rebuild himself.
I think it kind of borders on what is canon here.
Like, for me, I think what you're saying definitely makes sense. But the point is then, why? And that's the big thing with all this stuff in these games is, right, it's entirely possible, it could even be likely, but why would this happen?
Yeah, well, before we move on too far from it, I do want to say what I'm getting at, because I feel like maybe some of the people watching it might not connect those dots necessarily.
Mhm.
It's that when he's talking to M2, the one that says that it's just finished its new legs, Edwin is dying, right? Like his legs are messed up. He is in danger. He needs help, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's begging M2 to help him. And while he's begging him to, he says, "I'm sorry, I was always going to fix you." So, do you believe the endoskeleton he's talking to in that moment is the one that he beat when he, in the audio log, where he was beating an M2?
Again, it's quite a good question. Because, again, I can logically see that they could be different ones, like fixing and the legs.
Mm.
I think...
Well, I think
Yeah.
that it is. However, we run into a problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of if this is the one that acted like David, that he then beat up and broke its legs,
Mm-hmm.
right? It cannot be the haunted one, because the haunted one is barricaded in David's bedroom. Something that if Edwin messed up his legs in an explosion and then M2 wouldn't help him and he laid there and died, he couldn't then afterwards go barricade it into that bedroom.
Yeah, to have like a
where
lock
it's
and key
clearly
system.
not in during the log.
So,
I mean,
the only other thing I question is this one mimicking Edwin could have been the one to lock the David one in, but it's just
it really boils down to
it is possible, but it is possible it can be inconsistencies. So in this situation and in the storyline, which makes sense, and why would this be a thing? Like, what story-wise would the reason be? Like, do you have like a kind of like a reason why that would be a thing?
why he would beat a non-haunted mimic
Kind of like,
or acting like his kid.
Yeah.
I don't
Why do you
have
think
a
there'd be
clue.
two?
I desperately want to know why.
Yeah.
I clearly the one we find in the bedroom is friggin' haunted. Okay, that one is so haunted.
Yeah.
I was right, by the way. And the other one that we see, the one that chases us, just it doesn't feel, at least it doesn't feel remnant haunted. Like, it feels agony haunted. Right?
Yeah.
Which could just be from getting beaten and Edwin pouring all of his nasty emotions into it.
Yeah.
But then, why is he beating one that's not haunted? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because it could still be mimicking. I think the only story-wise thing I could see coming out of this is Greg. Yeah, you go before I do it. Yeah.
I've had this thought a couple of times, but this is the first time I'm gonna actually like form it fully and vocalize it. The M2 Edwin is talking to is mimicking the way Edwin speaks to David.
Yeah.
Which means this mimic has been around Edwin speaking to David. Daddy's busy, buddy. Why don't you go ask your mom?
Yeah.
So how long has this M2 existed? Because this seems like a successful M2. It is very successfully mimicking. Right?
Yeah.
But we have audio logs where he's like, I can't recreate it. I don't know why. This is just not working. Like,
it's confusing because I definitely feel like it's within the realm of possibility. I think it's less likely than it being just one mimic and it being kind of like just because it's a secret ending, it's essentially representative. But the only way I can see this is building off the idea of remnant versus agony is if Gregory is one of them. Because again, I really think that Gregory is a robot, and I could see it potentially happening if Gregory was the child haunted one. Because we have got symbolism before of like remnant versus agony and souls carrying on. And I think thematically I can see it. If it is that we have this one mimic potentially in the basement and then we have this other mimic is inside Gregory, I can see if that's the theme they're trying to push, I could see that. But then my only, again, counterpoint, Stillwall is making its games so you can get the full narrative, especially in Secret Mimic, you can get the full narrative without going too far out of your way. So having something like this, like you having to get the secret ending to understand future games, I think would be a little too far because they've messed up in Security Breach to the point that they have to be really careful with their storytelling now. So that's the only reason I think it might not be true. Like logically it makes sense, but I'm not sure game-wise.
well, I would say typically to get most of the lore, you do have to go quite out of your way. So I feel like it's more of like a return to kind of one of what I would say is like the core aspects of the franchise. Is that in order to get all of the lore, you do have to go quite out of your way.
Yeah. But
like even getting to what I'm sure at the time Stillwell thought was going to be like the canon ending, which was the burn trap ending, because I think in one of the like ports it was labeled true ending, and that like, caused the whole thing.
That's what everyone thought it was.
That is going very out of your way to get that. Like, it's not the easy ending.
Yeah.
And honestly, the one that's probably accurate, the Princess Quest one, if we go by the logic of like, okay, well the drawings that we see in Ruin are clearly telling us these are the ones that are not canon, and the one that's missing would be the canon ending. The Princess Quest ending.
Yeah.
That one is still very much going out of your way.
Yeah. I feel like
both contenders are.
My only, again, contrast to that is that Security Breach wasn't done well. And ever since with Ruin and Help Wanted 2, the secret endings have added to what we know, but they haven't been completely game-changing. Like, sure, you can have that really odd memory where you're sitting on a hill when you're killed or something, with Cassie. Or you can have the Scooper ending, which seems to add to it, but it doesn't necessarily, I don't think it would be anything kind of like lore changing after Security Breach, because of the way the lore was done so messily. I don't think they would do something like that, kind of.
Here's the thing, as I don't think that it is lore changing. Like first of all, it wouldn't be lore changing because all of this is new lore for the games. Like, it's not changing anything.
Yeah.
But when we escape the main building, we go through R&D.
Mm-hmm.
And now in R&D, an endoskeleton wearing a bunch of pieces stands up out of a trash pile when you hit the button to start everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the files of the game, that model is referred to as M2RND. The way the parts are attached onto this endoskeleton is like a foxy hook wrapped with wire around the hand, like a pipe clamp used to hold a piece of casing onto the leg. Like, things that would have taken a lot of time to set up. And then it gets up from, like, in the bottom of a trash pile when you hit a button to activate all of the stuff in the room. And so it feels like you've just activated it. But if that was the mimic that was chasing you, it should already be active. So I don't even know that there potentially being multiple M2s is unique to the secret ending.
Yeah. I mean,
necessarily.
Something as well that a lot of people haven't really considered in that in the original books there were multiple mimics, but they were all ordered to be destroyed. But I think the only issue is, because by lore changing, it's like a bad use of the word, to be fair. I mean more like it changes our understanding from playing the basic game. I just feel like it's almost overwhelming. I think there's multiple mimics. Like, again, I don't think it's entirely impossible, but I think if there is, like, it's a very good theory, and I think it's possible. But I think if there is, we will need to learn more about it in a DLC or, like, sequel game.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
How does this affect the future of the games?
Building onto that point. So I think there is going to be a Secret of the Mimic DLC and then one final game. And I think Secret of the Mimic DLC is going to have William or Henry. We're going to get an answer somehow of how Mimic knew to mimic after. Or we are going to get the idea that Edwin is alive. Because, as I've said before, it's really easy that he was just paralyzed and not, like, killed because he can't feel his legs. But to be paralyzed from the waist down, you don't have to be injured that badly. And then I think in the final game, Edwin's going to give us something. I think Gregory and Mimic are going to die together. I think Cassie's going to realize she's part robot. And I feel like there's going to be open ends, like the blob and stuff. But I feel like for the main Mimic lore, that's kind of what we're following. And I think I can definitely see multiple Mimics being put into there. Especially because I think Security Breach 2 sequel is going to have the whole Cassie, I'm actually a robot, wow, kind of thing. Or like he discovered it later on or something. So I definitely could see it linking in there if he is also a mimic or knew about Edwin or something. That's my kind of stance. What's your stance?
I completely disagree with you on Gregory being a robot. I could see Cassie going like kind of cyborg, basically with like prosthetics.
Yeah.
After that crash, I do think that it was purposeful that all 3 of the ruin endings leave open the possibility for continuing Cassie's story. I think that is very purposeful.
Yeah, she's not dead.
Even the elevator ending, because it all goes black, but then you hear Roxy's voice, Cassie. So, like, clearly she can still hear things, at the very least. A number of people think that there's something lower than the floor where she got onto the elevator and started going up, and that she fell lower, and that we're going to, like, go explore some underneath.
FNAF, stop building on stuff.
Honestly.
It's like a cake.
Or a burger.
Burger.
As a burger. Sub to cyanide. So I feel like we're going to definitely continue Cassie's story. I think we might get more given to us about who exactly is Gregory's friend under the Pizzaplex with access to the building maps.
Yeah, I mean, I think I still think that is Vanny, because if she's worked as a security guard, I think that's why. But I also think I do think Michael is probably there. I don't think he's the friend, but I completely believe at least someone, a very good chance it's Michael, is down here. Like someone's here.
So the issue I run into with saying it's Vanessa because she's a security guard is that you are not in the Pizzaplex anymore. You are in MCM or sister location or some weird amalgam of the two. But who would have access to the old building maps?
See,
Mike
would. However, I have a counterpoint to that. So, do you remember Candy Cadet's story in... It was either Help Wanted or Ruin. That was like a whole Candy Cadet thing, right?
You're gonna have to tell me. Candy Cadet showed up in like 3 different games minimum, so you're gonna have to tell me which story. We talk about the witch in the woods. We talk about the family that didn't buy the meal deal. We talk about the monster in the basement. Which one?
I believe it was Monster in the Basement. I'd have to verify, but we also find Gregory's backpack down right where we've sold the mimic.
Do.
So I really think that if Vanessa and Gregory were working down there, she would have a map because she probably explored. Like, they had to make a plan on how to trap the mimic, and I think we might find out more about that potentially. But
I think I'm gonna have to argue that being like a great point against it, because I think both of our things account for Gregory being down there.
Yeah, he's down there.
So Gregory's backpack is like, that works for both, you know?
Yeah.
Gregory's down there with Mike, Gregory's down there with Vanessa. Either way, Gregory's down. That little fucker is down there.
Throw him.
Hate him.
Lodge him. Yeah. I think there is a good chance Mike is about. I don't think, like, I don't know. It's another one I can see both ways. Like, thematically, I almost would like it more if Mike has been laid to rest, because he frigging went through so much. He deserves a bit of a nap.
Dude, that guy's a himbo.
Mike the himbo.
Name one thing he did right.
Well, he let his sister turn him into spaghetti soup, and then in theory, he went to every single pizzeria to try and burn places and end it. And then he tried to burn his dad, and then he came to FNAF 6 and in theory let himself be burnt. Like, I feel like he's made some steps of redemption.
Now, which one of these actions would you consider successful?
Hey, don't leave my Mike alone. Leave him alone. He's going through it, okay? It's so mean. Poor Mike. Oh no. Oh, poor Mike.
No, don't get me wrong. I love him for it. But my God, he can't do anything, right?
He failed dying. Oh, poor Mike. Let him rest, please. He's been through enough.
So the thing that makes me really lean more towards Mike is that his room is in security breach, and that's such a weird thing
It's so
to just
intentional.
throw in.
Yeah. It's like... we were saying, though, there's something to do with puppet. Like, we are missing such a big
sure.
Like, obviously there's so much puppet symbolism around. It's like... And there's even baby symbolism. To be fair, there is symbolism of every single FNAF 6 character there, which is the odd thing. But I think
Exactly.
something really weird, at least something really weird is going on. Because we have puppet symbolism, we have like Mike's room, like maybe it's
All of the
the
people
mimic.
who were supposed to die in the fire
Yeah, like they're just
still being
Yeah.
around.
it's
I
they're
wonder,
strange.
do we think that fire worked? A lot of people still do. Don't know why.
I think if the fire didn't work, I would be a bit sad. Because I am a big lover of the idea that FNAF 1 through Ultimate Custom Night is its own story, and then the Stillwall era is its own story, and they're separate. And I really like that. So to have that
I think they're purposefully made so that if you want to take them separately, you can. Like, you can stop playing after UCN and just decide, for me, that's the end of the story.
Yeah.
You know? But if you want to continue the story, then there needs to be a basis for continuance. And that is something has to carry over. Right, and the easiest way to do that, because he left it very open, he was like, there's a way out for you, Mike. Also, we think fire will destroy Remnant. we think it will. Probably will. Maybe. Like, that door was left open. To say that the fire failed.
Yeah.
Right? And I really just, I can't imagine at this point that it didn't. Because if we had only gotten this symbolism in Security Breach itself, like, oh, there's weird puppet plushies everywhere. Oh, there's circus babies showing up. Oh, there's the blob. You know, oh, there's Burn Trap. If that was only in Security Breach, I'd be like, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, this was a mistake. But the fact that in Ruin we were once again shown the blob. You know, we go into that weird plush baby room with the tally marks in it. What the heck is that about? we go down there. We find the pod. The glass isn't broken and you can't actually see through it. Technically, that body could be inside of it. And then we leave open the door for it being Mike under the Pizzaplex.
Yeah.
And we still have the puppet plushes. Not only in Ruin, but we run into the freaking Nightmare on plushes everywhere and Help Wanted too. And again, we have babies showing up a lot in Help Wanted too. Like,
yeah. The thing is, though, I totally agree with your point of something has to carry over, because that's just how sequels work, you know. That's just how it works. But to me, it was the idea of William and what he did and the mimicking it that carried over. Like, obviously there was still some stuff like William and Henry's, because that hasn't been touched on. And I think I'll even accept Lefty, because we didn't see him burn, and also again that's William's, not William, Henry's daughter. So I think I can see that, but to me,
we went about to drop a new theory.
oh my god,
Charlie Afton.
The baby's not mine. It was Charlie. But yeah, I just really feel like, to me, having Mike still going almost starts to touch a little bit too much on FNAF 6. Because, again, I'm a lover of the idea that, at least for most of them, they met their end. And it's a really beautiful ending. And I feel like it loses its impact quite a bit if they just didn't die. Like, the darkest bit of hell is for you. No, thank you. It's like...
I mean, he did spend some time in the darkest pit of hell.
He did indeed.
Cassidy's design, though.
Nice darkest bit of hell. But yeah, I just... Do you see what I mean, though? It just feels a little bit like... touching... I don't know, maybe I'm being too nostalgic.
Like, I understand
yeah.
what you mean, is that it's a little bit disappointing to go, like, this really cool speech, this really cool ending. Like, that would have been a great ending for the franchise. Like, that's true, it would have been. But deciding something is incorrect just because you don't like the story as much isn't, like, evidence.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, I get you. Yeah, I think it's just the idea of it's not necessary.
Like, I can definitely... The thing is, I can see the points you're dropping, and I can definitely follow them, but I can also see it being completely detached, and at the moment, that's what I personally believe, is there are some agony, some spirits here, something is going on, but I think there is more a limit to it in my mind, because it's not necessary. That's the thing. From a writing perspective, it's not necessary to have all of this happen, to have FNAF 6 ending different. Like, you don't have to touch that. And that's why I was really peeved when FNAF 4 protagonist ended up now being Michael instead of Thingy, because it feels unnecessary. Like, I'm not one of those fans that's like, oh, it's just sanctity.
I really like
and
Michael
stuff.
being the FNAF 4 player.
I don't, because again, it's just the original FNAF 4 story. It just doesn't. Yeah, I'm not one of those fans that's like,
I
it's
think
so
that
good, but
was the original FNAF 4 story. That's the thing. I think it was always meant to be Mike. Go watch that box video, and you'll understand why. And you might like it better, actually.
It might help. I do need help on that one, because that one's just like never sits right with me. Yeah.
Yeah, I that is honestly, like, that is one of my favorite videos.
And
maybe, like, my audio quality not the most amazing in that video. But the theory itself, like the information conveyed, and like the narrative, like the explanation of the narrative, I feel like is super solid.
Yeah, like really consistent. I respect that. I want to clarify for the audience as well. I'm not one of those fans that's like, the game should have ended, the game should have stopped. I'm just more of a believer that the links should be limited. Personally, from my perspective, I think it's not impossible for them to pull it together. But I don't... Again, I'm just a person who doesn't necessarily believe that you have to touch the past to make the future brilliant. But again, I might be proven wrong, and it's really, really like it has... If Michael is under there, it has the possibility to come together and be really, really cool. But it's just isn't necessary. And that's just kind of a... It's kind of a thing.
No, I will say, I don't disagree with you. Like, that would have been a really cool ending. I think if FNAF had literally ended there, there is more than 50% chance that the overall story would be better than whatever is happening right now. Like, but, like, also, people want more FNAF.
Yeah.
People making FNAF want money.
Money.
Like, I get it. Obviously, like, it's still interesting. Like, it's not a bad storyline. But I think in terms of, like, having an overall good narrative, good story arc, we had a beginning, middle, end. We understood at that point at least all of the major, I would say, plot points of the series. And it made sense, and it was compelling, and we liked it. Cool ending. Cut it off right there. great series, glad it happened, right?
Yeah.
On the other hand, I'm glad it's still going on because, I mean, we're sitting here talking about FNAF right now because it's still going on.
Yeah, because we have stuff to talk about. I want to say as well, I don't think the games necessarily should have ended there. I love the new storyline. I really enjoy the whole Mimic arc, the AI versus humanity. I love that. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm actually really enjoying the new games. I am glad they continued it. I'd rather they continued it like this than didn't. It's more... The crossing over, I think, is just an incredibly fine line. Like, I'm enjoying the new ones, but I just don't want... Yeah. I've said my piece on that. I've said my piece.
I'm not a huge fan of just going, okay. Yeah. You got into these spooky ghost story games. Cool. What if it was sci-fi instead of ghost stories? I'm not a big fan of that. I'm here for the ghosts.
And that is entirely fair. And I feel like that almost like... I feel like that almost influences our perspective as well. Because for me, having the AI storyline, and I find that storyline in itself really beautiful in the idea, it comes back to the idea that a child is dead, it's the tragedy and stuff. Whereas for you, what you loved more was the hauntings and stuff. So you, from your perspective, will be finding more stuff. And, you know, either one of us could easily be right. And I think it definitely is influenced by what we're seeing and what we are wanting to happen and what we were wanting to believe. And I think...
I would...
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I would say that it would be a poor, like, one, business decision, but also just in general decision to hand over the reins of a series and then completely change what the core component of it is about. Right, because it was always about kid ghosts haunting machines. Like, that was always the core of the series. And I feel like it would just be a terrible business decision to get an IP like that and then completely change what it's about. That doesn't mean that they haven't done that, but that would be like if somebody bought McDonald's and then stopped selling burgers.
I feel like...
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do get what you mean. But to me, it doesn't, like... That was part of the core of FNAF, but as I talked about in the FNAF 4 one, part of it is about tragedy. Like, FNAF 4 makes it so harrowing is because it's really honed in on this kid that died in an accident, and that really does feel like the core of FNAF still. It's about Edwin, this business guy. He's distracted from his family. He lets his kid die like this. It's about, like, and it is about really cool animatronics, kind of Dislocation style, but I don't think it's moved away from the core, even though the theme is different. The core kind of style is there. We are still having hauntings in Moon, and we are having hauntings potentially that David voice, and there are spirits in that basement. It's still there. I just feel like it's more adding to it rather than completely changing my perspective.
Like the AI bad storyline is topical.
Absolutely.
As well, especially with like all the people who really just despise AI and are correct to do so.
But like, that's why I like it, because it's not necessarily saying all AI is bad, but it's saying how you are using and treating it as bad. AI can be used as a tool in hospitals, for example, to help people detect things early. Like, it's been proven it can be used.
Yeah,
using it to steal art is wrong, and it feels like that's kind of the Mimic storyline is this whole time. Like, the Mimic isn't inherently evil, but it's been treated in a way, and it's had to defend itself in a way it is forced to be so, and that is what we are doing with AI. We are forcing it to do horrible things, and we're not using it in ways that we should be using it. And I think that's a very current message, and that's part of why I really love the current law.
So what I'm trying to figure out, right? See, if you're saying that it's like defending itself because it's in danger, when did it decide it was in danger? And why?
So I think it was actually Fiona that influenced it. I think Fiona may have done it, but I think when they entered this place, and he probably even overheard it, because by this point I think he has some sentience, because he's also infused with agony, because he has been beaten the fuck up by this point. So, and I think either when Fiona has actively told him, you are in danger, because obviously Fiona is the one guiding to get the schematics, but it might even just be like, because the people coming in the building are Fazbear people. Now, Fiona obviously wants to get the schematics to fix them, but we only get that when we literally go against her will. Whereas with everyone else, it's for Fazbear to take that thing back. And Fiona knows that's evil because she knows that's what Edwin did not want. She knows that Edwin specifically said, they are not having my designs. So
also, Fiona may have been literally murdered by Efton. That is potential. That's potentially a thing.
That is very true. Oh, that gave me chills. But yeah, it's very much like I feel like it's very easy, and especially even just the employees being like, let's get the semantics, we can fix this thing, let's do this kind of thing. It's very easy for the Mimic to then equate that to they're trying to erase me. And Fiona could have done that, like, in his ear, like, oh, they're going to erase you, it's going to be really bad, and it's going to be bad, you got to go stop them, kind of thing. But, yeah.
Yeah, I don't...
Gush about the game.
Another thing about, like, security breaches, I don't think that it's gonna do much, like, influencing future games, necessarily, just because of how scuffed it was.
Yeah, like, there's definitely some aspects, but not...
Like, I noticed we immediately, as soon as we started talking about the future, pretty much immediately, got off of security breach. It's because there's nothing there.
It's like, there's keys, like Michael's room and stuff, but overall, as we said, it's really hard because you need to divide the intention and what Scott said versus what we actually see, and it's basically impossible to do so. Yeah, it's very much what is real, what is not, what are we meant to know and understand, like these missing people, are they actually missing people or have we been misheard? Is that actual Michael's room? Because it is, or did they just say make it seem like Michael is here? Like, it's so hard to read into the lines, and that's why so many people were put off this game and put off FNAF in general, is because Security Breach fumbled. And it makes it really sad because it's not Stillwell's fault, and Stillwell got a terrible reputation for it when Scott has literally said, my bad, chat, my bad. So,
yeah, honestly.
Yeah, no, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Like, even just about the game in general.
Honestly, I actually like for as much as I talk shit about it, and I'll talk shit about the bugs, and I'll talk shit about the story and everything, it's fun. I like watching Astral Spiff or Backseat streams, both of them do weird things in Security Breach that shouldn't be possible. It's fun. It's fun in the way like Skyrim glitches are fun,
Yeah.
right? And like the animatronic designs are cool, and the concept is really, really cool. And I just wish the communication had been better.
It could have been amazing. I think it really could have
Like
hit it.
like thinking about, well, it's not just the communication from Scott. It is also it's not just Scott's fault. It is also kind of Steelwool's fault.
Yeah,
Because
and
they
COVID's
did
fault.
this thing. Yeah, but like specifically Steelwool, they've even like they've said in interviews and stuff, like J-Top has said, you know, we'd come up with another idea and be like, yeah, let's add it in. We'd come up with another idea and be like, yeah, let's add it in. And that's why there's so many cut and half finished features in the game, is because instead of limiting the scope of the game, like any studio, indie or AAA, should be doing, basically at least the way they made it sound when they described it was, someone had an idea, we went, yeah, let's put it in. And that leads to problems, especially if you're working with a studio of just a handful of people.
Yeah.
You have got to have a clear focus. And I do think that they learned that lesson, because when you move from Security Breach into Ruin, you have like a much narrower scope. It feels way more focused, polished, and just overall the whole mood of the game is better.
Yeah. And
like, sorry.
No, you go.
In Security Breach, like original Security Breach, beyond just the bugs, like the map design was not good. It was hard to figure out where you were.
Scuffed.
The objectives were not explained well. There's times where I've hit a point, like genuinely, with the first time I ever tried to play through the Security Breach, and I've never finished Security Breach because of this. I went in, I got all the way through the daycare section, got out the daycare. It was like, go get in that pod. I got in the pod, and then I just didn't have an objective.
That happened to MatPat too as well, I believe.
I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what I was supposed to do next. And the place is so massive that it's not like you should be expected to wander into the correct area to get the next objective or whatever. I still don't know what you're supposed to do. After I genuinely, in the big 2025, I still do not know what the next step of Security Breach is. Like, yeah. I know I've seen all of the gameplay, and it's all in my brain. I don't have it in order.
Oh, me neither.
In my brain anymore. So, there's definitely... And just the huge expanses, the AI of the animatronics didn't get enough time. Being able to spot you from an infinite distance, that's a problem. The teleporting... That was definitely a shortcut that was put in last minute.
Oh, yeah.
Because they just didn't leave themselves the time. And so nothing we got was polished. And a lot of things that we could have had were cut.
Yeah.
Again, it's great that they learned from it because they very clearly learned a lesson.
Yes. I feel like to leave on a positive note, I will say though, Security Breach did have a charm to it. Like, I still can't describe the feeling of seeing the opening of the game and seeing them performing on the stage like that, their names coming out.
Oh my god,
that was
the opening.
Frigging
it's
awesome.
So good.
It's amazing. And I think there are some parts of this game that are really good. They're really fun. And I think, despite the bugs, I think it was the start of a new era, and I think it definitely deserved more love than it got.
That's the first free roam game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is the first free roam FNAF game.
Mm. And, like, there were some teething issues, but I think Stillwall, like, a fairly new studio, very small studio, taking on an IP like this, like, Scott chose them for a reason. And, again, there were teething issues, there were big issues, there was a lot of things that went wrong, and that was partially Scott, partially Stillwall's, partially COVID, and partially being rushed to meet a deadline that they could never meet. It just really feels like...
The deadline thing is a limiting your scope issue. Yeah. They are a very capable studio.
Yeah.
I don't think the deadline would have been an issue if they had just limited their scope.
Yeah. But, like... Yeah, just as a final kind of, like, compliment, so we're kind of, like, ending on a good note, I think they did decently. I think for what the challenge was, for a studio that is experienced but still, at the time, new to taking on something as monumental as FNAF and as big a challenge as FNAF with all the challenges that came with it, like, I'd say they did a good job. Not the best, but for a first one, I think it was decent.
Honestly, I have no ill will towards Stillwall. I think they're fantastic. I love that they're excited about it. Like, it seems like, at least to most of them, do genuinely love FNAF. Like, they enjoy the series and they enjoy working on the series, and I think that's really freaking cool.
To see, like, them have so much love for it, and, like, especially in Secret of the Mimic felt like FNAF was so loved. Going through that and seeing all the tiny details and seeing, like, how, like, specific everything was, I feel like it just had that flair that we needed and that love for the series, and I think I'm really excited to see what Stillwall will do. I think they've really improved, and they've got a clear narrative, mostly clear narrative going forward, and I think overall, like, even like how in Secret of the Mimic, how you could still understand Edwin, Fiona, David, Mimic without having to read the books. They've integrated it so well, like, and that's not easy in any way. Like, just well done.
Yeah, that was wonderful as well. So I think maybe we disagree on a lot of points about what the next game is going to be. But I think it seemed like we both agree that we're going to see the continuation of Cassie's story.
Yeah. And I think either perspective, whichever one of us is right, is going to be very cool, regardless of like other things. It's going to be fun. It's going to be really good.
Like I'm gonna be real. If I see like half of Gregory's face fall off and it's just endoskeleton underneath, the immense crash out I'm going to have and the video I post after that, it's gonna be really fun to do.
And if freaking Michael comes up with his animatronic body, just like Gregory, like that would be cool as hell. That would be cool as hell. I can't even lie.
It's me, Michael.
And that's it today for the Fazlore Podcast. Special thanks to our lovely guest.
Thanks for having me.
Where can we find you?
I have a BlueSky that I barely ever use. It's Mommacado. You can find me on YouTube. The channel name is Mommacado, and in all of my descriptions, you can find the link to my Discord server, which is the only social media I really use.
And that'll be it for today. Signing off. See you later.
Bye, dudes.
Thank you for listening.
Hi there, PNG Win here. A reminder, all profits from this series goes towards Dorco's London Marathon 2026 fundraiser, in which he is raising funds for Samaritans, a charity for people who are struggling with their mental health, offering support lines and services so nobody is ever alone. It's a wonderful cause, so please consider donating with the link in my bio or scanning this QR code. Thank you.